Keeping your pool clean can be a nightmare because it's just this big manual task that you need to take care of. But as I've showed you in the past, there are now smart robots that can take care of this for you. But here's a question. Do you really need 2 pool robots, or is this just overkill? That's what I've been asking myself for the past week. You see, it's now the beginning of July. We've got summer barbecues on the calendar. The World Cup final stages are heating up. And if you own a pool, your home is like the gathering place for these parties of the summer. And you know the struggle. You spend all morning skimming leaves so the backyard looks perfect for guests, only for a light breeze to ruin everything 10 minutes before the first burger hits the grill. And it's a constant battle. But Beatbot thinks they have a solution. Instead of one robot trying to do everything, they've split the job into 2. This is the Beatbot Sora 30 and iSkim, and together they claim to be a total pool care system. If you're interested in the Sora 30 and iSkim, I will have links down in the description below. And big thank you to Beatbot for sponsoring this video. Now, before we dive into the specs of each, let's talk about the logic here. Because on the surface, 2 robots may sound like a lot, but here's the thing. Pool debris doesn't all behave the same way. Think of your pool in layers. You've got the surface layer where leaves, bugs, pollen, and grass pretty much sit and collect. Then you've got the underwater layer where sand, dirt, hair, and heavier debris eventually settle. And even that stuff we talked about a second ago that's on the top will get waterlogged and then fall down to the bottom. So if you only have a floor cleaner, the surface is always gonna look messy. And if you only have a skimmer, then the floor is gonna stay gritty. Now, the iSkim is designed to live on the surface while the Sora 30 handles the heavy lifting underneath. This is all about specialization. Let's start with the Sora 30. This is the cordless workhorse of the duo. It's built on what Beatbot calls the hydro balance architecture, which is a fancy way of saying it's really good at staying stuck to the floor and walls without floating away. I put this through some real world testing, and it easily collected sand, dirt, and anything else that was actually in the pool. The Sora 30 has 6,800 GPH suction power, that stands for gallons per hour, and you can actually see it in action. It is inhaling debris, not just passing over it. And here's the wild part. It doesn't just do the floors, it will climb the walls of the pool as well, and even clean at the water line. And if you're not familiar, this is where that nasty, oily ring will usually form around the perimeter of the pool. The Sora 30 will climb the pool wall, cleaning the wall itself, and then when it gets to the water line, you'll see it hover there for a few seconds to brush that off. Now, under the hood, you've got a 10,000 milliamp hour battery. That gives you about 5 hours of floor cleaning time. And when it's done, or when the battery hits 12%, it uses smart water surface parking. It actually expels its internal water to float to the top of the pool and then parks itself right against the edge. So no more fishing around with a hook at the bottom of the pool, even though it does include a hook in the box for whenever you need one. You just walk over and pick it up and lift it out of the pool, and it is really simple. Now, while the Sora 30 is doing that deep cleaning we just talked about, the iSkim is patrolling the surface of the water. And while this one looks a lot simpler, this is also packed with tech. You see, the entire top is a 24-watt solar panel, and the goal here is 24/7 maintenance. You see, because it's solar powered, the iSkim can stay in the water indefinitely as long as there's sun. Even if it's cloudy, the internal battery will last up to 28 hours. I watched it work through a particularly windy afternoon. It just moves along the perimeter, getting into the corners where leaves usually cluster, and the intake is super wide. It's basically the entire width of the device, and it leads to a massive 9-liter debris basket. So to give you some context, that's about double the size of a standard robot basket. And you can see here when I take it out, this was just after an hour. It has collected all sorts of stuff inside this basket that would have otherwise just been on the top of the pool, despite the fact that we had a pool cleaning robot, the Sora 30, cleaning the walls and floor. So this is the stuff that iSkim collected that never had the chance to sink and rot on the bottom of the pool. So going back to the question, is this overkill? If you have a small pool with no trees nearby, then yeah, maybe. But If you're someone who hosts, or if you're the house where everyone is going to be gathering for the World Cup or those summer barbecues I mentioned, this system basically changes the game. Because the reality is a clean pool makes the whole backyard feel better. The iSkim handles what keeps landing on top, while the Sora 30 handles what builds up underneath. It's less manual skimming, deeper cleaning, and more time actually enjoying the water instead of maintaining it. Don't forget, I have links down in the description if you want to check these out for yourself. Thanks for watching as always, guys. I appreciate your support. I'm Andrew Edwards, and I will catch you in the next video.